What's up everybody, how are you doing? Welcome to another video. Today I want to give you an important update regarding the monitor which I'm using. It's a true HDR monitor and the monitor is good. I'm not gonna lie, because it's really good for its price. And it delivers in the most important area. I bought this monitor for HDR, I'm not gonna lie. I already had a pretty good monitor before I sold it. I bought this monitor for HDR specifically because it has quote-unquote true HDR, and after using it and I do play a lot of games, so I've tested that HDR feature on a lot of games and it has HDR, no doubt there. The blacks levels are amazing, it does get decently bright, and once you've calibrated everything, the HDR is fine, it runs properly on most games. But the problem only comes when you have a game where you need to enable VRR or the FreeSync. And let's pull this gate first. Yeah. So the problem is that I'm playing Tomb Raider Underworld. As you can see, it's a relatively older game. Did I hit a bug here? Yeah. So it's a relatively older game, and although it looks good, not gonna lie, it's just that I think the frame rate sometimes can drop in some scenes with a lot of particles, lot of fire. So over here, for example, in the first scene which you have, I get around 144 FPS in the scene. Let me measure that quickly. Actually, I'm getting 248 FPS, 237 FPS. It's an old game, so yeah, but problem is sometimes it drops. So right now it's giving me 168 FPS, and maybe this was causing the problem. So I enabled VRR on to basically reduce this problem of stuttering, and it did not help a lot because the HDR was turned off. So okay, the problem is with this monitor, of course. I think it's because of the monitor, I'm not really sure. So here, listen to me. I enable VRR, I cannot turn the HDR on. I know that. I have to upgrade the firmware on this monitor to enable VRR with HDR. That is something which I have known, and I'm not upgrading the firmware yet because it doesn't bother me for a lot of games. And some people have complained that basically upgrading the firmware can break your monitor. Obviously you have the warranty, right, and the return period, so if you want to do something, do it in that period. But I haven't updated it, but I want to tell you that is it is an issue with this firmware, not the monitor, at least the firmware. And as for the game is backwards compatible, super smooth, it runs properly on Microsoft Windows, can't really complain there. But as I said, it may not be a monitor issue, it could also be Microsoft is good. I give them credit for, I think it's the better platform to play the games. I can still run games from 1999. That's why I buy only the games on PC and rent through Game Pass whenever I want to play. So whenever I want to buy something, I buy it only on the PC. That being said, the auto HDR in Microsoft Windows, I think it doesn't work properly, and it may be the devil here creating the latency I was seeing. It's possible because when I enable VRR, the auto HDR feature cannot be enabled, obviously, because even HDR cannot be used. So maybe that resolved the issue, or the VRR resolves the issue and we just can't enable HDR to see what was causing the problem. The issue is that auto HDR is a Microsoft's own thing. Okay, it's completely a Microsoft technology, and it works well on Xbox. I'm not gonna lie, it works well on Xbox. I have played on the Series S. I played really good games that took advantage of the HDR, like the Medium. I also played Doom Eternal, which looks really sexy with HDR on. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, a sexy HDR implementation in that game. But unanimously, a lot of people have complained that auto HDR is not perfect. So I will update this monitor play this game again with uncapped frame rate, sorry, with HDR on, and then with the uncapped frame rate, and then I will see what's the result here, whether VRR or auto HDR, what is causing the problem. So some testing is required. I really hope auto HDR is not an issue here, because auto HDR does make the games look good sometimes. I guess some of the older games, and it works really good for some reason on platformers and Metroidvanias. For example, Toho Luna Knights, it's a Metroidvania. The HDR, auto HDR implementation in that game makes the game looks sexy, really sexy. So I really hope auto HDR is not the problem here, and it's just that we need to enable VRR too, because sometimes when the frame rate has very fast drops, let's say it goes from 240 frames per second to immediately 140 frames per second, so there is a huge drop in the next second of the frames that are thrown into the monitor. So it can make the screen tearing look very worse. Other than that, now let's talk about the game. Enough complaining about Microsoft's auto HDR and VRR. I haven't done any extensive testing, but I will be upgrading the firmware. I've gathered some courage to upgrade the firmware finally. Yeah, what's the worst that could happen? I've accidentally minimized the game, so don't worry. Maybe I break my monitor. That's the worst that could happen. But I will claim the warranty. I hate claiming warranty for monitors. You have to ship them. It's a pain. Besides, I think KTC, being a new company and new into manufacturing their own monitors, they have been making panels, but they haven't really manufactured their own hardware with the panels, like this entire monitor. So, but the monitors, the HDR looks good. When it looks good, it looks very, very sexy. This is the first issue that I've encountered with the KTC monitor that I'm using. Let's try to find. There is a small cave here. Let's turn the sonar map on, I think. Tab and sonar map. This is one entry point here. Let's see. Am I supposed to go here? Okay, there is something here. I think it's a collectible. So yeah, the Xbox guys got the sexy swimsuit for this game as an exclusive content. We have to be jealous of them, guys. As a PC Master Race, we don't get the good stuff, but we get the better performance, which Xbox guys will not get. Not making fun of Xbox. I think Xbox Game Pass is good. I just really don't like exclusivity. So we are at the right cave. Now let's insert this into this hole. And should just bring all three eyes together. So let's rotate this first. Then we rotate this. But that's it, guys. I mean, if you have played this game, let me know. What do you think about this game? Do you like this game? Do you think this game is not that good and the newer titles of Tomb Raider franchise are better? The reboot. I think both of them have their appeal. The newer titles have higher graphical fidelity, it sort of have a more relaxing experience. It's just a good old action adventure game, whereas this one requires you to at least learn some of the gameplay elements like solving puzzles and a little bit of combat. Combat is not that hard. Yeah, but by the way, there are a few mythological creatures in this game. As you could see, that was the arm, one of the arms of the Kraken. I don't know, it's like a huge octopus. But this has Norse mythology in it. The story is inspired from Norse mythology. The artifacts are also related to Norse mythology in this game. But that's it for watching this video, guys. I'll save the game here, and as usual, you can wait for my next video. I will be creating the comparison after updating the firmware, and hopefully the HDR is not bricked. That's the whole reason why I got this monitor. But thank you for watching. See you next time.